Well, Reverb's been bought out. And guess who by? Private equity. Yep, that's right, private equity. We're going to get into that a little bit more in just a second. But first, I got to talk about today's sponsor, and that is me. I sponsor my own videos. I don't take outside sponsorship. So if you go to www.artisanwoodshed.com, you'll see that I make custom enclosures for Softtube's Console 1 series of control surfaces. I have many different variables and many different options available, and some are available for purchase immediately and others are build to order. So I encourage you to go check that out if you're a Console 1 MK3 user. I just finished up the prototype. Well, beyond a prototype. By this weekend, I'll have it all worked out for PreSonus' fader port 16 or 8. You can do both. But at the end of the day, I've got a few tweaks I've got to tweak out on that, but I think I've got it all solved at this point. And so hopefully by the end of this weekend, we'll have some up on the website, and I'll do a little video about that, kind of showcasing what they look like. And then later on, I'll be doing my review and my assessment of PreSonus' fader port 16. I also have some here in cherry, which I also like really nicely. I like cherry. Cherry's really cool wood. And the thing about this is these are all affordable. I try to make enclosures that are affordable. Lots of people do the all enclosed and they look great and everything, but they're very expensive. And so what I try to do is put these things in an ergonomic way where you can see everything and it's very easy to use the control surfaces, as well as use some pretty beautiful enclosed cases to be able to do that. And so I use a lot of high quality wood grains here. And so check it out, www.artisanwoodshed.com. Lastly, I've got an affiliate link down in the description below for Sweetwater. So if you're ever going to purchase anything from them, if you choose to purchase elsewhere, then don't worry about it. But if you are purchasing from them, I would appreciate if you just click that link. Whatever you put in your cart, I get a tiny piece of. It's one of the ways that I keep this channel going and keep all outside sources out of my opinion and out of yours. And so ultimately, I've got the same link for Toma over in Europe, so choose either one of those. I would appreciate the support. And for those of you who've done it so far, know from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now let's get back to Reverb. And so I've done a lot of business on Reverb. I bought and sold a lot of gear, not because of the channel, but just alone. I've been on there since really the beginning of its inception. And I enjoy it. I've had nothing but positive experiences. Every experience has been flawless for me. Never had any issues. Every once in a while, I'll do a video, Reverb comes up, and I'll always get that one or two people out there that say they won't use it because they had a bad experience. If that happened to you, I'm sorry, but you are in an isolated camp. You are not the average user. Therefore, you wouldn't have Reverb continue to do the volume of business that it does. And so I've been a huge fan of it. Now, why did I get away from eBay? Most of us used to use eBay, especially some of us who are older. We used eBay before Reverb was an option. And then eBay changed their policies, and now they charge outrageous fees. The percentage is just unbearable to the point of just flat out ripping people off. And I refuse to do any business with eBay. So is the same thing going to happen with me with Reverb? Well, let's talk about who bought it, okay? I'm not even going to get into the company because they're all the same. They're the armpit of the world. Private equity, all they do is destroy everything they touch. They suck it dry, they bleed it to death, they get as much money out of it, and then they dump it. By then, the reputation is too ruined, and those businesses tend to not recover. Think of Guitar Center. So I'm frustrated that this has happened. It's inevitable that it happens. Anything successful, anything that makes money is going to be eventually bought out by private equity. I would give anything in the world if we would regulate those companies out of business and simply no longer allow that, but that's not going to happen. They feed the pockets of all the politicians worldwide. This is not just an America issue. This is worldwide, and this is a problem everywhere. And so what do I see happening with Reverb? Well, I think initially you're not going to do anything. You're not going to see anything. It's going to stay the same because they're smart. They know if they just immediately go in, there's going to be a massive backlash. So over a period of time, they will start to incrementally increase the percentages that you charge in fee or you pay in fees. They're going to do that. And so then where are we going to go next? I guarantee you it's likely to turn into what eBay eventually turned into. And that is just really not a practical solution. A lot of us, including myself, I don't like to sell locally. I don't like to use Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist is pretty much over and done with as far as I'm concerned. I simply don't trust the scammers out there. You get overwhelmed with all that nonsense. So there is a security blanket with having a source like Reverb to be able to buy and sell gear because you know you've got somebody behind it that's going to stand up and back it up. And Reverb has always done that for me. And I'm very saddened to see this happen. Of course, you do have Sweetwater that really kind of have made an effort to put a dent in Reverb where you can buy and sell used gear on Sweetwater. And who knows, maybe we'll end up over there. But then again, Sweetwater also got majorly bought out by private equity too, or at least a large percentage of it. So far, I've not seen any decline in Sweetwater, but it's probably inevitable for it to potentially happen at some point. And of course, the employees that work there have nothing to do with it. They're all great, wonderful people, and my experiences with them it seems like I've been doing business with them forever, way before this channel. Everything has always been nothing but positive. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick's my sales manager. I know you're always going to call me. I don't always answer the call, but I appreciate you making the effort. So I'm troubled by this. I'm disappointed by this. We need a good resource for this. We do, because I'm a huge advocate of buying and selling used gear. You can save so much money versus buying new with that, typically in most situations. And so I'm a big fan of that because oftentimes if you buy a piece of gear and it's used, you can oftentimes get very close to what you paid for it. Now, in recent times, you could have actually bought it and actually made money off of it because of inflation and everything else like that. But setting all that aside, you can usually get about just what you put into it. So you really have nothing to lose as long as you take care of your gear. I'm sure most of you out there are like me, and you treat your guitars, your gear, everything with care. You want it to last and you want to take care of it. I know I do. I got 2 walls surrounding me right now full of guitars, very nice guitars that I've been blessed with over my adulthood. I didn't acquire them all at one time, but they're all in brand new condition from the day they bought it. I've got a couple of guitars I've had up there for over 25 years. And so I take care of my gear, as I'm sure most of you out there do as well. So I'm really disappointed with what's happening here, but it was just inevitable. Private equity just destroys everything they touch, and it's really heartbreaking because there have been so many great companies over the years who've had wonderful reputations, all to be taken down and destroyed by the greedy private equity. And you know who pays the most when private equity comes on? Do you know who pays the most? The workers, the people that work there. They suffer the most. They got bills to pay, they got mortgages to pay, and all private equity wants to do is run it with the bare bones labor just to keep that thing in business. And I guarantee you're going to see a lot of people let go at Reverb. I guarantee you that's going to happen. And so that's unfortunate as well because it's the experience, and that's what these guys never, ever, ever understand, especially in the music community. We are a unique bunch of people. We're very unique, and we share a common thing, really, in my opinion, amongst all of us, is we like to have relationships with who we purchase gear from. We like to have relationships with the companies we choose to do business with. And that's an important part of the experience. And when you take that away, you take away everything. And sooner or later, we'll all just go back to Amazon for some of this stuff. And I don't want to do that either because they're just as bad as everyone else, all right? So anyway, that's my 2 cents. If you didn't know this, now you do. It's unfortunate. Again, I don't see a lot of changes initially out of the gate, but I guarantee you, they will come, okay? They will come. But on a side note, although very limited, okay, I'm a one-man show here, but if you want to buy something from me from www.artisanwoodshed.com, if you use those and they're of value to you, I please ask you to go check that out. At least you're always going to be dealing with an honest person for me and somebody who genuinely cares about you as a customer. So thank you very much, and I hope all of you have a great day. Remember, buying used saves you a lot of money for now. So until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.